Okay, so this is the overall syllabus for EWM. Okay, and okay, so in first lecture, what we learned, I have explained the what is the ERP system and how we are going to connect to the EWM system. Okay, so let me describe the decentralized system and S/4HANA versions as well. Okay, so next slide, I think. Okay, so this was the first slide I explained to Rajastri in first lecture. Okay, so basically this is the we have two types of EWM system. One is a decentralized and another one is your S/4HANA. So what is meant by decentralized? In decentralized system, you will have different kind of systems like APO server. This is the SCM server. Okay, in SCM server you can deploy your EWM application. So in SCM server, it will contain your transportation management, like APO and your event management and extended warehouse management. So in the decentralized system, you will have ERP system is the one separate system, and your EWM is a separate system. Okay. So whatever the data means, like if you create any sales order or purchase order, any production order, okay, that purchase order, that transaction data will be transferred to your EWM system. Okay, so SCM server, you will have different model as well. So this is not the standalone. Okay, it will contain your EWM system as well and your other applications. So that is why it is called as a SAP EWM or SCM server. Okay. And EWM standalone means you don't need this SCM server. SAP has provided one solution, like you can have your own single EWM server and you can integrate with your other servers. Means you can connect with your legacy system as well, your ERP system as well, your third-party system as well. Any kind of system you can integrate with your EWM system. That is called as a EWM standalone. And third one is your SAP EWM add-on. Means like this is the embedded one. Okay, so as of now we are going to learn the S/4HANA. In S/4HANA you don't need different system. In one system you will get your ERP system, you will get your other models as well. Okay, so that is your embedded one. So this add-on nobody is going to use now because we have the S/4HANA. So this is the basic history of the EWM system, how you can deploy. Okay. And these are the processes we are going to learn in details. Okay. Inbound process, storage and operation is nothing but your internal warehouse process and outbound process. Inbound process, like you will do the food receipt and you will do the puja where you will store your product in the warehouse. Okay. This includes your inbound. Storage operation means like you will do your physical inventory. If you want to scrap your material, that you will do in the warehouse itself. Okay, if you want to make the kit for a stock or kit for an order, that can be done with the help of internal warehouse movements. And third one is the outbound process, where you can actually deliver products to the customer. Okay, it may be your goods issued to the production order, it may be your goods issued to a customer order, or within one plant or other plant. It may be your STO, right? Okay, so these are the basic process we can learn in EWM. Okay, so let me tell you about this ERP and EWM system combination. Is how you are going to integrate this ERP system with your EWM. Okay, so look, here you have SAP procurement as an ERP system, and in second box you have extended warehouse management. Okay, so in ERP system, what you will do? This purchasing department will create the purchase order. Okay,
Yeah.
they will create the purchasing requisition. They will create the STOPO kind of things. Okay, and in sales department they will create sales order, and maybe they will create the schedule agreement as well. And for this your production department, they will create the production order or the process order. With the help of like whatever data they created in the ERP system, that will transfer to the EWM system in the form of queues. Okay, so there will be one there will be a remote function call known as RFC. So whatever the transaction data you are going to create, that will carried through your RFC connection. You will have two connections. One is the transactional data and other is your master data. For master data purpose, you will have different integration model that is we call as a SIF. Okay, so I will teach you how we can create the SIF model, how you will transfer your master data, like your customer data, vendor data, your material data, how you are going to transfer from ERP system to EWM system.
Okay.
Master data will be one-time activity. Whatever data present in the ERP system, that will be reflected in EWM. So you cannot change that data in EWM system. Okay, this is one direction only. But transactional data, if you update any inbound delivery, if you are update any sales order from EWM system, that will be reflected in ACC. That will be a two-way communication.
Okay.
Okay, so for that you will have different kind of connections, RFC connections. Okay, so this will be means like warehouse order, warehouse task. We will learn in detail. So don't confuse here. Just keep in mind whatever you create the transactional data, the purchase order, sales order, that will be reflected, means distributed to EWM system with the help of your RFC connection. So I will show you one detailed diagram here. Okay, this one. See, one is your ERP system, or second one is your SM system. Okay, so this SIF is nothing but your integration model. Okay, so here you will have this master data. Master data is nothing but your vendor master data. You will create the vendor number in ECC system. You will create the customer number, whatever your customer name, address, contact number, alternate contact number. Okay, that will you create in ECC system. So this customer data, there will be one team called as a MDM team. Okay, that will take care of creation of this customer master data, vendor master data, material master data. You don't bother about it. Okay. So whatever you get the any doubt or any means like if you get any in real scenario, if you get any ticket or if you need to customize your data, you just need to contact the MDM team. You can give the information like you have this customer number, you want to update your contact number, you want to update this customer's email address, or that is delivery time, okay, time zone, everything. There is a separate team called as a MDM team. They will take care of this master data. Okay. So there will be shipping point, means like shipping point is nothing but from where you will deliver your actual goods, right? So in one city or in one area you will have one shipping point. Okay, so in one city you have multiple shipping points. So for example, you can consider your DMart kind of things, right? So one DMart will be your one shipping point, and in DMart you will for DMart as well you will have different warehouses, right?
Yeah.
So this is your master data. That master data will be transferred to the EWM system with the help of CIP. See, this is the only one directional. You cannot update the data in EWM system, and you cannot transfer from EWM to EC system. It is always transferred from ERP system to EWM. If you want to, sometimes if you want to change or you want to delete the customer master data, you need to delete it from ECC system. Then that data will be carried through this existing integration model. Okay, and then it will update in your EWM system.
Okay.
So I want pointer. I don't know. Where is that pointer? Okay. Now, second one is your transactional data. As I said, you will have purchase order, sales order, processing order, production order. Okay, inbound delivery, outbound delivery. That is called as a transactional data. So that transactional data can be transferred to your QRP connection from EC system to EWM system. Okay. So you will do the good receipt, you will do the goods issue in EWM system. And sometimes, okay, you got only, so in purchase order, you have mentioned 100 quantities, but in actual, vendor has delivered only 80 quantities, right? At the time of good receipt, you will post good receipt for 80 quantities. So in EWM, what you will do? You will do the quantity adjustment as a 80, okay? You will post the good receipt, and that 80 quantity good receipt will be reflected to your EC system. That is two directional, okay? So transactional data you can update in ECC and in EWM as well, right?
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Okay, so that was about SIP model and this QRFC model, okay?
Mhm.
And later on we learn some configuration, like how to create the plant, how to create the company code, okay? Let me log into the system. I will show you what plant we created. We assigned that plant to the company code. We created some purchase organization. So that configuration I will show in the system itself.
Okay, sure.
I hope you got this credentials, right?
No, she told that she will give me after this class.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
So you just need to enter this MSTSC. Then you will find this IP address. Just you enter this IP address. Okay. And then click on connect. You will find it will ask you username. Put that username, whatever she gave you, and then you can enter your password. So it will connect to your EWM system.
Actually, she gave me some other thing like SAP login.
Yeah, yes, is the one.
Okay.
I don't remember the password.
Radix, RADIX.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same. So you need to click on this SAP logon. As of now, you can see only one system connection here. Okay. So what happens in industry or any company, you will have different kind of system here. So if you want to do actual development, then you will have a different system. If you want to do the testing, you will have a different system. And production system will be different. Okay. So you have connections here. So you can. Okay, so this is your S/4HANA system. So you can find all the system over here. This is your extended warehouse management. Let me always keep in mind whatever the configuration you need to do. For that, we have this transaction code SPRO. Okay, In SAP, everything is related to transaction code, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So here you can find different model. This is sales and distribution. Okay, this is related to your customer, sales order creation, billing, invoice, everything related to your customer. This is nothing but your sales and distribution model. Okay. Material management deals with your procurement, purchasing, your vendor negotiation. Sometimes they have inventory management as well here. Okay. And this is logistic execution. Most probably we will work in this logistic execution because some settings we need to do here. Like you need to create a distribution model. You need to create the warehouse number and distribution channel. For that purpose, we need to create some shipping points, route information. So for that purpose, we will use this logistic execution. And this logistic production safety, environment, health and safety. This is again another SAP model. So you will find different model in one system.
Okay.
So you don't need to bother about decentralized, like they will have different system. Earlier, you will not find this SCM, extended warehouse management in decentralized. You will have a separate system. Okay, so this is S4HANA. Then this is embedded one. You can find all the models in one system. But what happened? SAP has provided the architecture in such a way that you need to create the dummy warehouse, you need to create the dummy distribution model. Okay, they haven't changed that architecture. Though it is in a one system in though it is in embedded, but we need to create the dummy connections. System is taking different system. Okay. So in that day, we define this company code, plant, store location, warehouse number, shipping point, purchase organization, and we did the assignment. See, company code always is given by the finance model. Okay. So why this is related to finance? Because whatever the accounting, financial accounting happens at the company code level, it never happen at the plant level, right? Suppose India will be your one region, means one country, right? So if you want to see accounting entries, how is the profit going to the India country? Okay, so that you will create one company code, and in India you will have different plants. Say like different will have plant. Okay, so always financial entries will happen at the company code level. So FI people will create the company code. Okay, and they will give us a company code. We don't need to create the company code. This is the activity done by the finance.
Okay.
This is the plan. Again, this plan comes under material management. Okay, the MM people will create the plan. Okay, whatever the plans, they will have different plans. Like they will have a manufacturing plant. They will have a finished plants. Different kind of plants they will have. Depending upon that, your business requirement, they will create the plant. We also don't bother about this plant. Okay, store location also we will get from these MM people. They will create their. Okay, they will create the store location as well. Suppose you have a manufacturing plant in Pune, you will have different store location. In one store location, you will put the raw material. In other store location, you will put your packaging material. In other store location, you will put your finishing goods. Likewise, we will have different. So this plant and store location will be created by this material management, and this purchase organization also defined by this MM guys. Okay, purchase organization is nothing but where the people who are responsible for your vendor management, negotiation with vendor, like things. So they will have a group of people who will manage this vendor negotiation and all. Procurement activities will done with this purchase organization. Shipping point, as I already mentioned, different shipping points will be there where actual goods issue will happen. Means you will deliver the product from that particular. And warehouse number, this is belongs to us. we need to create the warehouse number, because in actual warehouse you are going to manage your warehouse, means like picking, packing, put away, internal movements. Okay, so for that purpose we will create the warehouse number, and that warehouse number we will assign to your EWM warehouse number. This warehouse number will be in ECC as well. Okay, that will be a 3-digit number, and in EWM you can link this warehouse number to your EWM warehouse number, right? So let me show in the system. I think I lost my connection. Certificate from trusted. Okay. Somebody is working in the system. That's why it got disconnected. I don't know. This is the warehouse, EWM warehouse team. I don't know who is working. This K1W1 warehouse. Okay. Let's go to. Let me call this Monica. Somebody is pulling the system. We are unable to connect.
आपके द्वारा डायल किया गया नंबर नेटवर्क कवरेज क्षेत्र से बाहर।
The number is not reachable.
Is there any other thing you can do?
She is supposed to give us a dedicated server connection. At least for 1 hour. She is not picking her phone.
Drop a message.
Okay, SPRO. This is transaction for config settings. Okay, you need to click on this SAP reference guide. So now go to this enterprise structure. In enterprise structure, you will define your company code, you will define plant, everything. Okay. So here, if you go to this material management, okay. One minute. Okay, see, this financial accounting people will create the company code, okay, and this material management people will create the plant store location. What they will do, they will come to this enterprise node, okay, they will define one plant. See, define plant, click on this plant.
Yes.
Whatever you see, this 001, you will always find in any application. This is the standard plant given by the SAP. So
Okay.
in real environment, what you will do, you just need to copy the standard plant, okay, and you can customize accordingly. So if you want to give different number, you can give. If you want to rename this according to your plant name, you can give the name. This name too is nothing but whenever you want to search your plant, in that search field, you can mention your search field name. Okay.
Okay.
So we have created one plant. Monica, do you remember the plant name? I think this one, EWM demo plant, right? See,
Yes.
then we created this one plant. Okay.
Okay.
See, we have given the name like, so earlier it was 001. Okay. So let me show you how to create. It will be better for you. See, I will select this line. Okay. And then I will click copy as. Okay. Now, whatever name I want to give,
This we can do by going into new entries, by creating new entries,
Okay.
right?
always to copy from standard one. Okay. Or you
Okay.
can copy from others because you don't need to bother about all the fields. You can just, customize according to you. If you create the new one, then again you need to fill each and every field. Okay. So here you can mention your company name, WM demo, or RJ. Okay. Search term you can mention anything. You can put the country, India. Suppose Maharashtra. MH is not there. Code will be there. 0013. 13 is for Maharashtra. Okay. So likewise, you can fill the information whatever is there. Your plant is created, Jayant.
Okay. Yeah.
So like this, you will get here plant. Save. So this is the request, means like in any implementation project, you will have a one basis team. Okay. So whatever the customization you will do, you will create one request. Okay. In that request, you will define your whole config settings. Suppose you will have one request for master data settings, one request for your transaction data settings, one request for your shipping point, one request for your document types, one request for your number range. For different tasks, you will create one request. Okay. Once you include your configuration in request, basis team will what will do? They will take the reference of this request. Okay. And they will move these changes to other environment. Say this is our development environment. Here you will do the configuration, customization changes. Basis team will move these changes to your testing environment. Testing, you will test your whole business scenario. Okay, and they will give to your business users. Okay, they will have different environment. There they will test. Okay, if it is fine, you just say yeah, this is fine as per your business requirement. They will give a sign off, and later on you will move your product, changes to the production. So for that purpose, you will have this customization request, right?
Yeah.
So you can create your own customization request here, or you can use existing one. So for as of now, I am using the already created by someone. Okay, so if you see, this is my customization request. Earlier I created one. Okay, so so I can include this plant in this request. Okay. Every time it will ask you if you want to include this customization changes in this request. Yes. Now you can check plant there. Okay. This is for defining. This is for check, and this is not required. Third one. So we created plant. Now we will create the store locations. Where is material management? Okay, here. Maintain store locations. Plant EV M1 something. Okay. Okay, this is your plant. Here you can create your store locations. Okay. If you want to copy, you can copy from other plant as well. Or if you want to create the new one, you just click on this new entries. Okay. We can mention RJ1. Okay, this is our store location. RJS log. You can give the meaningful description. Okay. So for testing purpose, I will give like RJS log. Okay. You can create a number of store locations as per your business requirement. You can create the store location. So as of now, I will create only one for testing, right? And just click save. See, again, this is asking me this customization request. I include this customization in this request. Okay. Now it's saved. So this is not in scope with the EWM consultant. Okay. Just for your understanding, I'm explaining everything, how we will create the plant, store location, and all. There will be different consultant, consultant. There is a responsibility to create the plant and store location all. Right? Okay. Now we need to create the warehouse number. See, in logic execution, you will find this define, copy, check warehouse number. So this is in scope with your EWM consultants. Okay, so you need to define your warehouse number. So this 001 is the standard warehouse number given by the SAP system, and these are the other warehouse number created by other persons, right? So we will copy from standard, okay, and we will create a new warehouse number like RJ1. Warehouse, okay. Now save it. You will find your warehouse number here. I will include this customization in this request. I will not create new one. Okay. This is for just copying and check if you can see whether your warehouse number is created or not. Okay. So from 001, this is the standard one, and you are copying to RJ1. Okay. I don't want to. Do you want the organization complete object? No, I don't want. Already exist. Okay, this is already exist RJ1. Yeah, this is already exist. That's why it's not allowing us to copy again, right? Because while creating this transaction means warehouse number, I already copied from standard one. If you forget to copy the settings from standard one, then you can copy from here. Okay. So this is just copying from standard warehouse to your customized one. So you have created a plant, store location, warehouse number. Okay. Now you can define your shipping point as well. Okay. So again, you can copy from here, or otherwise you can create the new one. So I will, this time I will create the new entries. Okay. So shipping point like RJPS. Okay. Shipping point for EW. So you can use the actual shipping point name. Okay, while implementation. And factory calendar is nothing but your company calendar. Suppose in every factory or manufacturing, you will have a 24/7 shifts, right? Or maybe they will have some shutdown in their plant as well. So accordingly, they will set their factory calendar. Okay. So also, we are not bothering about this factory calendar. Finance team will take care of this kind of things. Okay. So if you want to, update all this field, you just need to get the data from this finance team. Okay, how their company or how their plant having this calendar means like some companies have holiday on Saturday. Some if you go to this UAE, okay, they will have holiday in Friday and Saturday, right? They will work on Sunday. So accordingly, they will set their factory calendar and working times as well. Okay. So if you go back and you can see the standard one, you will see this. Copy. Okay. They have maintained factory calendars for Germany. Okay.
Okay.
So likewise, you will have different calendars. India, United Arabs, then Australia. So depending upon their country and their region specific, they will maintain this calendar. Okay. I will select India. Okay, I am. That's it. So you can mention as a company, or you can name as actual company name here. I will not mention this house number and everything. I will just mention India and India time zone. India. Okay, so time zone IST. Okay, you can. This is the F4 option. You can select from this list. Okay, according to your company code. Here you can mention your mobile number, your email address, everything, right? So as of now, I am skipping these fields. These are not mandatory. Okay. So anytime you can come here and change this mobile number, email, everything.
Okay.
So it is postal code is mandatory. Without this, it will not accept. So enter postal code. Okay. That's it. So you got your shipping point, right?
Yeah.
Save. I will save this customization in the same request. Done. This is the same as like you can copy from standard one to your customized one. I already copied from standard one, so I will not again use this option. Okay. It will throw an error message you already that your shipping code already exists. Okay. So this loading point, this maintain transportation planning, these things will be taken care by your transportation management. Okay. So in SAP they will have a separate TM module. Okay. They will take care of your vehicle registration, your route information, whether it is by road, by air, by sea, or something like that. Okay. So they will maintain this transportation planning point, everything, loading point. So they will take care of this. So we will not bother about this fields.
I have one question. Like you said, embedded means
Yes.
EWM. So which one is the part of that? From where?
Yeah, this is the embedded one. Embedded one is nothing but your all the models will come into one system, means in one server. Okay. So see here you can see this logistic environment health safety. This is another SAP model. Okay. You can see sales and distribution model, right?
Yes.
This is another model. This is material management. This is another model. Okay. Likewise, this is SCM extended warehouse management. This is our model. You can see this transportation management. This is again SAP is another model. Okay. So embedded means all the models you will find in one server. Okay. So in decentralized, you will get another one separate system where you can only find your extended warehouse management as single application. You will not find this kind of menus over there. Okay.
So we are studying, means we are going for HANA only.
Yes, exactly. We are learning
EWM.
yeah, S/4HANA on embedded system. Okay.
Okay.
So, if you go back to slide. Where is my document? Okay. See, this is our embedded one. Okay.
Yes.
Add-on is nothing but your embedded one. You will find your ECC, ERP system and EWM. Okay. ERP system is nothing but your all the models like this material management, sales and distribution, then your transportation management, quality management, plant maintenance. These are the different models. Okay. So this is the ERP and your SCM extended warehouse management. This is the another one. So you will find all together in one server. That is another embedded one. So if you go to this SCM server, okay, in SCM server you will find separate ERP system. Okay, there you will not find your extended warehouse management option. You will not find there. Okay.
Okay.
We have a different server called as SCM server. In that, it will include your transportation management model, it will include your GTS model, it will include your event management model, it will include your extended warehouse management. Okay, this is nothing but your SCM server. See, these are the different two systems, ERP system and EWM system. But this is the embedded one, S/4HANA one. You will find both in one system. Okay. And this is standalone is nothing but there you will find only single application, that is EWM. Okay, you will not find your APO system, you will not find your TM system, you will not find any other system. Only you will find this EWM, that is called as a standalone, means single system.
Okay.
Now, so that was the basic configuration related to MM and warehouse management, Jayant. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So in last two lectures, we have covered this much configuration and introduction part. Okay. So today I was trying to cover this warehouse specific related configuration. Okay.
Okay.
See, we have created plan. Okay, that is EVJ1, right?
Yeah.
Then we have one store location, SJ1, right?
RJ.
Yeah, RJ. Okay, and we have created one warehouse, something. I need to note down that warehouse number. What was our warehouse number?
RJPS.
Let's check.
RG1.
Yeah, RJ1, yes. If you want to find, you can click on position. Go here, RJ1. Yes. So this is our warehouse number, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have created plant, store location, and warehouse number. Okay. Now one thing is remaining, that is we need to create the warehouse number in EWM system. Okay. So all that in ERP system. Okay. Now we will create our EWM specific warehouse number, and then we will assign.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the ERP settings we done so far. Now go to extended warehouse management. Okay, this is SCM extended warehouse management. This is our,
Okay.
go here and okay, click on this master data and define warehouse number. See, this is the 001 is your standard warehouse number.
Yeah.
And we will create our own. So remember, in ACC you will have 3-digit warehouse number, but in EWM side you will have 4-digit warehouse number. Okay. RJWH. Okay. And in ACC we had RJW, right?
Yeah.
So you can give the warehouse description. EWM RJ warehouse. Okay. Now save it. Then, so we have plant, we have store location, we have ERP warehouse number RJ1, and we have EWM warehouse number RJWH.
RJWM.
So we done with these settings. Now this is your EWM specific configuration. Okay. So this is your purely EWM consultants activities, right? So always create your own warehouse number. Right now we have created RJWH. Okay. Now second step is you create the storage type. Okay. Your storage type is nothing but your area. Okay. Area is warehouse where you actually store your product. Okay, it may be your air conditioned room, it may be your open space, it may be your rack, it may be whatever. Okay, whatever the area, you can name as a storage type. Okay, sections is nothing but, suppose you have one rack. In one rack you will have different columns, rows, like you will have different compartment. That compartment is nothing but your sections. Okay. And this is your bin, like suppose you can, bin means is nothing but your actual location. Suppose building 1
You have means your speaker is.
Now is it clear? Hello.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so your building will be your storage type. The floor will be your sections. Okay, and your room will be your bin. Okay. So always, whenever you try to do the put away, means like if whenever you try to put your product, that will be your storage bin. And whenever you want to remove or pick the product, that will be from only storage bin. Okay.
Okay.
So this will be your actual location. Cont means like nobody use this cont. Okay. This is the only storage bin. Everything will be in storage bin. So whenever you try to do the warehouse task confirmation, you will have storage bin. Whenever you try to pick the product, there will be a storage bin. So different storage bin we will create depending upon your product characteristics. Suppose you have some flammable materials, you will have different bin. If you have it's like raw material, bulk material, you will have different bin. Okay, depending upon that, you will create the bins. Right. So this is all about the EWM and ECC configuration. So I will show you in the system how to create the bin.
You are not audible.
Times and then I will explain the slide. What is meant by warehouse tasks and order. Okay. So we don't have any configuration right now. That's why I am skipping this slide. Okay. So we have created the warehouse number, right?
Yeah.
This is the same screen I have shown you. Okay. Now I will create the storage type. Okay. So this SCM extended warehouse management is our area. Okay. Whatever configuration comes under this node, the EWM consultant will be responsible for all the config changes here. Okay. So you will find your master data, good receipt process, goods issue process, internal warehouses, cross-process settings, material flow system. So this is very high level. Okay. I never work on this MFS system. Okay. So labor management is there, billing, doc appointment scheduling, monitoring. Monitoring means this is kind of your reporting purpose, right? You can see how many bins are there, how many products are there, how much quantity is there, okay, how many warehouse tasks are open, how many completed, how many cancelled. So this is monitoring is your reporting purpose. Interfaces in the sense you will have interfaces with your ERP system, you will have integration with third-party system. Okay. So for that purpose, you will use the interfaces. Mobile data entry is nothing but you will do your warehouse task confirmation with the help of RFID. Means like RF, you know, in warehouse they use for scanning purpose, right? Barcode scanning, label scanning. Okay. So they will have handheld devices. With the help of that, they will perform warehouse activities. So that comes under mobile data entry. So we need to configure that the handheld devices. We will have some hardware configuration settings that will be taken care by base system, and we have to configure some means like you need to create the user ID. Okay, you need to create some presentation device, and that device should be assigned to your user ID, right? So if you once you get the user ID presentation device, then you can do the warehouse activity on that handheld devices, RF gun. Okay. So that is comes under mobile data entry. So today we will learn about master data. Okay. In master data, we have warehouse number. Then we need to assign the warehouse number. Then number edges, the storage types, storage sections. Okay. And then bins. So up to bins we will see. And later on by tomorrow's class we will go to the staging areas, warehouse door and all. Okay. So right now we have created the warehouse number. Okay.
Yeah.
So assign warehouse number. So it has some prerequisite steps. Okay. We need to create some supply chain unit, location data. Okay. Once we create that, then we will assign our warehouse to. Okay. So I'm skipping this node as of now because it has some prerequisite steps. So this is your RJWH warehouse. Okay. So no entries found. Okay. If you go here and click, it will ask this supply chain unit. Okay. Custodian, default party entitled, default ship to party. So we need to create this data. It's like once we create the SIF integration model, it will come from your EC system to EWM system automatically. Then this is a master data, right? So once we create the SIF, it will get automatically reflected here. Okay. So as of now, I'm skipping this. Now we will create the storage type. Okay. Again, you will find this. These are the standard 000, 0001, whatever you find under 0001. That is given by your standard SAP system, right? So in warehouse system, you will have high rack, okay, rack storage, bulk storage, pallet storage. Okay, sometimes you will get the product in the pallet, sometimes you will get the products in cartons, kind of things. Okay, so depending upon that, they have created their storage type. Okay, so let's copy from standard one and we will create our own. Okay. So you need to give your warehouse number, right? For your warehouse, you are creating the storage type, isn't it? Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Okay. So always you need to give your warehouse number. Okay. So in this warehouse, let's say number storage type, we can give. What number should we? It is not mandatory like you always give the number. You can. It is a combination of alphanumeric. Okay. 01. Okay. So it will be our high rack storage. Okay. So these are the many fields. Okay. I will explain one by one what is the meaning of this all the fields. The storage type role. Okay. So you can configure your storage type as a standard storage type, identification point, pick point. Okay. So this as of now, forget about this identification point. Okay. You will have different good receipt process. For that purpose, you will use this identification point as your storage type. Okay. Pick point is always considered in the goods issue process. Okay. This identification and pick point always, again, it will have different storage process control. That time you will use. Okay. If you want to consider the storage type as work center is nothing but your physical unit where you will do your actual labeling, painting, packing, right? That kind of things you will do in a work center. Okay. Door is nothing but your actual door where your vehicle will arrive, and from other doors your vehicle will depart, right? So for that purpose, you will define the door as well. Yard means your area outside the warehouse, right? So if you want to define that storage type as an add, then you can mention as an add. Okay. This production supply is where your product will be manufactured. Okay. So in manufacturing plant, you will have one separate area. You will store product for particular for production for that product. So that area you can define as a production supply area. Okay. So as of now, we will take the standard storage type. We will not consider this. Depending upon your business process, you will define this kind of storage type. Okay. Don't get confused here. As of now, just concentrate on standard storage type. Okay.
Sure.
So this HU requirement, maximum number of bins, it will have its own significance. Once you learn your good receipt process, goods issue process, again we will come to the storage type configuration, and I will explain why you are using this use fixed bin, why you are using this HU requirement, okay? Why you are using this put away control, okay? This is for your stock removal control. These are some, it has significant depending upon your business process. Okay, we will come later and I will explain each and every field whenever we configure our business process. Okay, so as of now, I will keep this as a storage type standard. Okay, and enter. RJ002. Okay, 002 where it is mentioned. Okay, this availability group. Okay, so we will create availability group later depending upon your stock type and store location. Now you can see you have created your own storage type. Okay, now save it. So likewise, depending upon your business requirement, you can create n number of storage type. There is no limit. Okay. So if you go, you will find this 9020, 9021. These are the standard storage type given by the SAP. Okay. See 8010. This is also standard one. 9010. This is for good receipt. Okay. 9020 is for goods issue. These are the standard one. If you want the standard good receipt and goods issue, we can copy this as well. Okay. Now section. Again, you can define sections within that rack. Like sometimes you will have fast moving materials, slow moving materials. Okay. Likewise, you can configure these sections. It doesn't mean like it is SAP has given a standard sections. You can customize your own. See, some people has created their own total section. Okay. Inbound section, work center, likewise. So I will create one section for our warehouse. Okay. RJ WH. Okay. We have our this one, right? This is storage type. Okay. Keep in mind, you need to assign sections to storage type, right? You can create your own section like inbound, okay? RJIN. So you can mention inbound section for good received or inbound section for finished goods received. Okay. Section for raw material good received, GR. Okay. See, you got one section here. So here again define storage type groups. Okay. The storage type group is nothing but you will have different groups, like put away, you will have a different group. Picking, you will have a different group. Packing, you will have a different group. So you can assign these rules, means like FIFO means first in, first out. Okay. These are the rules used in your outbound process. Okay. FIFO, LIFO, last in, first out. So you will not get what is the actual meaning of this. Once you understand the goods issue process, then you will came to know why we are using this FIFO and LIFO. One more rule is there, that is stringent FIFO, means depending upon your product expiry date, you will select that rule. Means like the product which is going to expire earlier, system always pick that product first. Okay, rather than this first in, first out or last in, first out. So you can customize these rules according to your business requirement. Okay. So we will configure this later on once we have this goods issue process. Okay. Now we will create the bins. Here you will find different bins. Means bin type, you will have different types of bin, like you will have bulk storage bin, okay, pallet storage bin, or so you can create a number of bin types, and that bin types always assigned to your bin. Okay. So let me assign this bin type to our warehouse. RJ WH. Okay. So B001 will be our bin type, and I will mention RJ warehouse bin type for bulk storage. Okay. Save. Okay, you got one bin type. Now define bin access type. Means like how you are going to access this bin, with the help of GUI or with the help of RF gun. Okay. So let me open our bin RJWH. Okay. Here is our warehouse. Oh, we haven't assigned it. Okay. Now copy RJWH. Okay. So they have mentioned access type as a forklift. With the help of forklift, they are using this bin type. So we can assign like RF gun. If you have RF gun, you can mention your RF gun here. Okay. Or you can mention like GUI. Okay. jewelries. Forklift, let me find for this RF gun, is there any bin type defined for RF gun? No. Later on, once we configure this mobile data entry, we will create one more bin type here. Okay. Save. So this storage bin structure, it will have one template. Okay. So once you create template in system, automatically bins will be created. You don't need to create one bin. Okay. So this is nothing but one template. If you go here, you will find this kind of template, right? So you need to maintain your warehouse number, sequence number, your storage type, storage sections. Okay. So if you have 4 or 5 warehouses and you want to create the bins for that particular warehouses, you can use this template. Okay. So for our demo, we will not use this kind of things. I will try to show you how to create the bins in the system manually. Okay. So for that, we have one transaction code /n/scwm ls01. Okay. This is our warehouse. Okay. And if you want to create the bin, RJ01. Okay. RJBIN, you can mention like this. Define unit of weight for your warehouse number. So our still we have some missing configuration. Once done, we can create the bin. Okay. So once done, all the configuration, we will create the bin. Still some configuration is missing. Okay. So we have created the storage type. We have created the warehouse number. Okay. So as I mentioned, we have storage type for bulk storage, general storage. Okay. High rack, fixed bin, rack storage. Okay. Depending upon your business requirement, you can create the storage type. If you have a bulk storage, okay, then you can create the one storage type as a bulk. If you have open space, on open space, if you try to put your product, then you can have a general storage area. Okay. If you have racks in your warehouses, then you can mention that storage type as a rack, high rack. Okay. Low rack also. And fixed bin storage means you will define one bin where in that bin you always put a fixed product. Okay. You will not put any other product. Okay. Suppose you have flammable materials. In that storage type, you always put your flammable materials. You will not put other raw material or finished goods, right? So for specific product, we will define your storage type. So these are the roles. We have used this standard storage type role as of now. I will explain this yard storage and this identification point, the significance of the storage type roles whenever we configure in a specific business scenario, right? So I have mentioned what is the door, yard, work center, right? So we will come to this point again. Sections, depending upon your means like if you have rack, within rack you can define different sections like heavy parts, hazardous material, fast moving items, slow moving items. Okay. Or any block means like damaged materials, you will put in one section. Depending upon that, you will create different sections. And bin is nothing but your actual storage. Okay. Actual physical location where system will pick the product for goods issue and put the product for good receipt. Okay. So these are attributes when we create the storage bin. I will explain what are the attributes for the storage bin. Okay, you will have this bin access, bin type, your maximum capacity for bin. Okay. So these are the attributes when we create the storage bin, actual bin. You will come to know about these attributes. And this activity area is also master data. Means like you will have different activities in warehouse. Like goods issue, we will have one activity area. For good receipt, you will have other activity area. Okay. For internal warehouse, suppose you want to move product from one bin to other bin, from one building to other bin, or if you want to change the stock types from block stock to unrestricted or quality. Okay. For that type, you will have different activity area. See, it has mentioned like put away, picking, inventory kind of things. This will have one activity area. This activity area is nothing but your group of bins. Okay. So if you have 10 bins for picking, then you will name it as a picking activity area. If you have a 10 bins for put away, good receipt, then you will mention it as a put away. Okay. So these are the attributes when we create the activity area. I will explain what is this depth, level, all things. Okay, that's it for today. If you have any questions, you can stop me anytime. Okay.
Is there any chance to share this file with me?
Yeah, I will share this PPTs with you. Okay. And that first slide as well. Yeah, the first slide. Rajeshri, I think in last lecture we have created some availability group and that stock tab as well, right? Remember?
So,
Availability group, store locations.
yes, only a storage location, warehouse number.
Okay. So again, James, by tomorrow I will explain how to create the store location, how to create the availability group, what is the purpose of creating the availability group. Okay.
Okay.
So that configuration is missing. So by tomorrow I will show you in the system how to create the store location and how we will map that availability group to EWM system, how we will create the distribution model. Okay.
Yeah, we have not created the availability group and
Yes. Okay. So by tomorrow's class, we will learn the availability group and all. So we will, first of all, we will means like create this QRFC. Okay. Let me show you one thing here. Basic setup of connectivity. Okay, we will learn about basic setup of connectivity, how to create the bin, means like queues. Okay. See, these are the distribution model, how to create the distribution model queue. I will explain by tomorrow's class. Okay. So these are the queues. As I mentioned, we have different queues, RFC queues, right? To transfer your material master data and your transaction data. Okay. So we will create our own queues. These are the customized one already created. So
okay.
So these settings required in both the system, in ECC system as well and in EWM system. Okay, this is your ECC system. Logistic execution is nothing but your ERP system. Okay, and if you go to your SCM, extended warehouse management, again you need to do the same settings over there. Though it is in one system, but SAP system that it is treating as an external system. That's why we need to configure the same thing in EWM as well. See, basic settings for creating the landscape, logical system. Okay. So We will see this how to create the logistic system, what is the meaning of this logistical system. Okay. So I will explain this how to set up this RFC destination and all. So by tomorrow's class we will check, and later on we will create the availability group, and we will create the distribution model. Means our integration ERP and EW integration will complete. Okay. Later on we will assign our warehouse number to this supply chain unit and all. Okay.
Where we can find this recording?
Yes. I will share you this PPT or this document with you. Okay. And then you can find these settings. Means like for practice, you can create your own plan, store locations, everything, right? I will give this whole configuration document for your practice purpose.
Yeah, and about this recording.
Yes, recording as well. I will share this recording with you. Okay.
Yes.
कुछ भी रहा ना तो डायरेक्टली मुझे स्टॉप कर देने का और पूछ लेने का, क्योंकि कभी कभी मैं भूल जाती हूँ कुछ बातें, तो डेफिनेटली यू कैन स्टॉप मी एनी टाइम.
Not an issue. Sure.
Okay. So I will share that PPT with you, and this config document, whatever we learn today, you can do the practice by tomorrow. Okay. If you have any doubts, if you're stuck anywhere, you can ping me, call me. So, or we can discuss in first 15 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye. Good night.
Thanks.
Good night. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Good night. Bye.